So, sir, my first question is about what is your prediction of the series? Well, India is leading right now, but who do you think will emerge triumphant in the ongoing series?
So, Nishad, at the beginning of this tournament, I had mentioned that this young Indian side will not only compete, but I think they'll come on top against the Australian side. And I stick with my views even now. Although in the last match, Australia managed to stage a comeback, but still feel that the hunger and the desire to do well um, seems to be more loaded in India's favor. Because number one, they have a young side, they have a new captain, and most of these players, or in fact, all the players, want to prove themselves at this level. And the best thing to do is to perform well against a top quality side like Australia.
Oh, yes, right. So, one another question. The next question from me is, how do you rate Surya Kumar Yadav's captaincy so far in the series? He's captaining the side. How do you look him to be a captain in the future as well?
Still early days for him, but I think he has the experience to back himself. He has led Mumbai on a number of occasions in both red ball and white ball cricket. So one can see that he's very calm, very soothing on the field with his players, and I think that's a hallmark of an emerging leader. It is a new dimension altogether. The dynamics changes when you graduate from a state level captaincy into a national team captaincy. And I think Surya will take some more time. There are so much of learning for him, and whatever one has seen in the first three games, it seems that he's aware of his role as a captain, and it has reflected so far in the performances that he has put in. I think for a captain, it's very important to understand right at the beginning, Nisha, that you are there in the side as a captain basically because you have done well in your primary skill, which is his batting. So my only advice to Surya would be do not neglect your batting because he's such an instrumental player. And whatever, as I mentioned, whatever I've seen so far in the first three matches, it's good to see him continue in the same vein as he did as a batter when he was in the 11 only as a player.
Right, right. So, both teams are right now playing in absence of their first choice players. So, from the Australian side, who do you think are the players who can make it big in the international stage in the future?
Well, most of these players have been with this T20 side for a couple of seasons now. One can always, I mean, Travis Head is one player who has emerged as such a successful player for Australia. And if you look at the some of the youngsters who have done well, Josh Inglis is another player that comes to my mind. And I think the Indian selectors, along with the team management, would be looking at these three four players who can take them forward. Nathan Ellis is another impressive right arm pace bowler who understands how to bowl in white ball cricket. And I think in years to come, he will be a very useful player for Australia. So there are these three four players whom I feel can take the Australian team forward in years to come.
Okay. And my another question is, Rinku Singh played a brilliant finishing knock in the second T20I. So, do you think India can groom him as a finisher in the future to take that
They have
role?
already, yes, Nisha, they're already trying to do that, and I think that is why they have slotted Rinku Singh as a finisher, and he has done admirably well, not only while batting first, but more importantly while chasing a target. And I think that is why the Indian selectors, along with the team management, they want to support him. There are some tough challenges coming up, especially the South African series. I think that'll be a big test for Rinku Singh because the conditions are going to be so different. So he'll have to adapt. But I think Rinku has this ability to use whatever experience he has gained from the domestic circuit. He's been part of the UP side in all the formats for a number of years now, and all that experience has come in handy so far. And I'm sure that going forward, even against South Africa, one can see him perform well for India. Although, as I said, the test will be quite different. But yes, he does have the right kind of ability, and more importantly, there are certain traits which I see in Rinku Singh. Number one, he remains very calm. Number two, I think his game awareness is very high. Number three, he not only can play the big shot, but also can rotate the strike. And I think he has also done that on slow surfaces, which is very demanding. So I think these qualities or these features in Rinku Singh's batting and his ability bodes very well for the Indian side.
Okay, sir. And my one final question is, the current India-Australia series has been streaming on Jio Cinema in 11 languages. So how do you think this additional language offerings is adding to the viewers' experience?
This is brilliant, isn't it, Nishad? I mean, I'm really enjoying this. And whenever I catch up with some of the fans or some of my friends, all of them are so excited to watch their favorite sport in their mother tongue. It all started during the IPL season, and I think it's a huge hit. And it brings in a different flair altogether. It has, and I think all languages have the ability to understand the game, and then we have the talent to explain that to the viewers. And I sincerely feel that that all the 11 languages that one has seen so far, they deserve the amount of respect which Geo has shown by bringing all these 11 languages on the table. And I also feel, Nishad, that going forward, digital is the way that will take cricket to in different dimension altogether. To make it more reachable, I think it is very important that we have this kind of a platform for so many languages. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant initiative.
Right, right. It's adding to the viewers' experience.
Yes,
So,
it's terrific because I mean, I remember those days when people would have those adda in Bengali or sit in these tea shops and discuss cricket. I think that's what they can see now. They can see it happening in on their on digital network in their own language. So there is I think the relatability factor has improved so much.
yes, yes. Yeah, so that's it. Those were my questions.
Okay.